Okay, this is Unit 5, Week 3, Vocabulary. And these are our vocabularies for this week. First word is unusual. Unusual, if we look at the prefix, we have un, and we learned that meant not. So unusual would be not usual, something that is not usual, that doesn't happen very often. Okay, thing that's unusual would be snow in April. Does it ever snow in April? It has been known to, but it's not common. It's not something that would happen a lot. It's unusual. Okay. It would be unusual for you to go out and play in the rain. Does that happen sometimes? Maybe it does, but it would be unusual. Our next word is complicated. Again, we have the D at the end, ED. Today I complicated it. Yesterday I complicated it. Or it could be an adjective. That work is complicated. Okay, complicated means that it is difficult to understand. A lot of times you can say that math paper I had to do was complicated. It was difficult to understand. What are some other things that would be complicated? Trying to put together something that you ordered at shelves from the store, and you have to put them together. It could be complicated, difficult to understand how to do it. Next word is idea. You have an idea. You go to the STEAM lab, and the teacher tells you to build a bridge with the blocks. And you sit there and you think about how you're going to do it. You plan it. You get an idea of how you're going to do it. Or I ask you to write a story, and you stop and think about what you're going to write about. You get an idea for what you're going to write. So you get a picture or a thought in your mind about what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. We talked about Thomas Edison. He would come up with a problem. He wanted to know if he could sit on eggs. Okay, so he thought about how to do it, and then he got the eggs, he put them in the nest, and he sat on them. Okay, he had an idea. Also, he got an idea for how to make light better by not just using the oil lamps that would make smoke or that could cause the house to burn down. Okay, next word is imagine. If you imagine something, it's something, I imagine what it's going to be like for my birthday party, or I imagine what our trip this summer is going to be like. Okay, if I imagine, I think of something that isn't real. Okay, it hasn't happened yet. It's not real. I haven't had that vacation yet. So I'm just imagining what it's going to be like. Okay, I might do exactly what I imagine, but not necessarily. Improve. If I improve something, this week I did not do well on my spelling test, so next week I am going to improve it. I'm going to make my grade better. I'm going to do better on it. See, the little boy is holding up an A+. He improved his grade. Okay. Our phones, we're constantly having to change our phones because they improve them. They make them better. They make them have more things on it so that they will be better to use. Next word is device. You use this word a lot. You all know this word even better than I do. You have your device at home that you do things on. You play on, or you do your schoolwork, your iPad, your phone, your game, any kind of a game that you have. A device. It's an object made to do a certain job. Okay, and you may have one or two devices at home to do a certain job. And then the last word that we have is curious. If you are curious about something, I would like to know what else Thomas Edison invented. I'm curious. I want to know more about it. I want to know more about something. I'm curious. Okay? I want to know more about the gift that I'm getting for my birthday. I'm curious. So I go looking for my gift and see where Mom and Dad hid my gift. I'm curious. I want to know more about it. Okay, those are our vocabulary words for this week. And so now let's look at our paper and see if we can match up the definitions with the words. So we have at the bottom of the paper are The words we have: idea, unusual, complicated, device, imagine, curious, and improve. Okay. It might help if I put out the cards with the definitions on it. So here, let's get the first one. You think of something that isn't real. Okay, here was the card that we have. You think of something that isn't real. So if you're thinking of something that isn't real, is that an idea? No, that's close to the meaning, but it's not. Because an idea, you're thinking of something. But an idea, you really want to do that. Okay, but thinking of something that isn't real is not idea. Unusual, complicated, device, imagine, curious, or improve. So if you think of something that's not real, that is imagine. I imagine that I saw somebody walking down the road, but it wasn't somebody. It was just the wind blowing something down the road. So imagine. Okay, want to know more about something. Here is the card that we have. We want to know more about something. Who is that in the picture? That's George. And what's his name? Curious George. You want to know more about something. You're curious. Okay, Curious George wanted to know more about something. He wanted to know more about why there was a log, or why there was a plant growing out of a log, or what it was growing out of the log. Okay, an object made to do something. And this was our picture. An object made to do a certain job. And what was that? Okay, was it idea, unusual, complicated, device, or improve? Well, it was a device, like your phone. So object made to do a certain job, a device. Okay, and then the next one, to do better or make something better. Okay, they changed it up a little bit when they wrote it here. To do better or make something better. If you make something better or do it better, is it an idea, unusual, complicated, we use device, or improve? Well, if we want to make something better, we improve it. Remember, he improved his grade. He got an A+. Improve. Okay, the next one is not common. Something that is not common. Okay, it is not common for a car to have legs and feet, is it? Okay, so if it's not common, is it an idea, unusual, or complicated? We already used improved. So it would be unusual, not usual. Unusual, not common. Remember, un means not. Okay, the next one, difficult to understand. If something is difficult to understand, is it idea or is it complicated? Well, it's complicated. It's complicated putting all those pieces together. It's difficult to understand how to do it. Boy, it sounds like the wind is blowing a lot out there today. It is complicated. It's difficult to understand. And the last one is a picture or thought you get in your mind. Okay, a picture or thought you get in your mind then leaves us with the word idea. I have an idea. I have a picture or thought in my mind of how we can do it. Okay, and that is the definitions to our vocabulary words. So then let's look at your red book, your turn book, and we're going to be looking at just two of the words. We're going to be looking at idea. An idea is a picture you see in your head. I have a good idea for a story. Or something that is unusual is not common. What an unusual hat you have. Okay, we saw a lot of unusual hats on Hat Day, or when when we did our program, we had some unusual hats. Okay, we're going to write either idea or unusual. Okay, remember we put a in front of a word that begins with a consonant and an in front of a word that begins with a vowel, and both of these words begin with a vowel. Okay, Dan has an blank for fixing the vase. Dan has an idea for fixing the vase, or Dan has an unusual for fixing the vase? Well, it would be idea. Dan has an idea. And there goes my pencil again. An idea. Okay, next one. That is an blank house. Okay, that is an idea house, or that is an unusual house? Well, that is an idea house? No, an unusual house. Because if you look at that house there, it doesn't look like the others, does it? It's not usual. It's not common. Unusual. And notice once again they use the word "and" because unusual starts with a vowel. An unusual. Okay, it was a very idea day. It was a very unusual day. Well, what's happening? Cats are walking around the room and she is dressed up like a queen. So it is a very unusual day. It's not something that you would see. It's not common. Unusual. Now here we have a because the word after it is very, and it starts with a consonant, so we just use a for that word. Okay, I have an blank for a game we can play. I have an idea for a game we can play. I have an unusual for a game we can play. Well, idea. I have an idea for a game we can play. Okay, and that finishes our vocabulary words.